Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Hey, what's happening? What's happening? Some of y'all might get this song. Some of you all may not get this song. Some of you all may remember the scene. I should have gave it to you. Let's see. I don't want to mess it up. Red and green. So, in the very first Batman, played by Michael Keaton, the Joker was played by Jack Nicholson, and this was his scene. So, from there, you probably know where I'm going. Congratulations to the Joker for his third MVP. He probably don't really care right now because he's down 2-0 to Minnesota in Game 3 tonight. Oh boy, y'all know where we're at. This Friday. Shout out to Corona Premier. We on the 24 ounce today. It's Friday. Friday, as they say. We out here. So Joker got his third MVP. We got a lot to talk about today. Not a lot, but enough. Joker got his third MVP. That gives him 3 MVPs over the course of the last 5-6 seasons. 1 championship. Another fun fact, the last 5 MVPs have been non-American. Think about it. So with that, 3 MVPs, 1 championship, and he's not done, maybe not. Where does that put him all time? In centers. Let's just keep it at the centers. I don't want to get into a conversation about all-time greats, none of that. Just all-time centers. I think from a skill perspective alone, we can say he's one of the best. Footwork, passing, shot, jump shooting, not jump shooting, but set shooting jumper, rebounding, position, and intellect. Probably has it all. Maybe not the swiftest on defense, but his footwork is pretty good on offense. So what did I say? He 3-1. 3 MVPs, 1 championship. I'm gonna say that makes him top 5. Only one. There's one other guy that has 1 and 3, and he's in the top 75. That's Moses Malone. Other guys that have more, and it's really the MVPs. Only 2 centers have more. Kareem and Bill Russell. Kareem is 6 and 6. 6 MVPs, 6 championships. Bill Russell, of course, 11 and 5. 11 chips, 5 MVPs. Shaq 4 and 1. So you know the diesel in there. If you don't, he'll get on you. He beefing with Shannon Sharpe. And I haven't even looked at it. Something popped up and he put out a rap song against Shannon Sharpe. But I think he advertising because he got the new big podcast going. And don't go over there and like and subscribe. Don't even look at it. Stay here. Hakeem got 2 and 1. And I always say you got to put an asterisk by Hakeem because had Jordan not been suspended. And if you want to know about that, maybe I'll do a special episode for y'all about Jordan suspension. Hakeem would have never got those 2. Ewing, 0-0. David Robinson has 2 titles, 1 MVP. So Joker is in great company when it comes to all-time great centers. So I think he'll stay there. I think he has a chance to move up that ladder. So shout out to Joker. But like I said, it really doesn't mean anything because tonight he needs to go out against Anthony Edwards and get a win. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Anthony Edwards. Boy, the transitions are good today. So we're going to talk about AE before we get into the series and where things are. So Anthony Edwards, been playing amazing. And of course, you know, he's on this run right now and the comparisons are starting to happen. The comparisons to Mike, how he does it. I want to just nip that in the bud right now. No. Anthony Edwards is playing very well. If you want to pick somebody, let me give you this first. Anthony Edwards is 6'4", 225. So if we stood in the room, we'd probably be the same size. Give or take 10 pounds. All right, 20. Mike was 6'6" and bulked up to maybe 220 at his max. Kobe was 6'7". So Ant has he's shorter. He does have the same type of athletic ability, but I tend to think the comparison should be more Dwayne Wade-ish. And y'all like, huh? But think about it now. Think about prime D Wade coming out of Marquette. He was the same way. D Wade jump out the gym. You would get dunked on. He had a mid-range game. Developed the three-point shot. Crafty, could get to the rim. Play defense. So very electric. Same size. D Wade 6'4", probably in that 215 range, somewhere around there, 220. So I think the comparison should stay in that realm. I don't think we should. We need to stop with the Anthony Edwards, Michael Jordan, and one Anthony Edwards is a nice guy. That's another reason I give him more to D Wade. He doesn't have that nastiness all the time, I should say. Like Mike and Kobe, those dudes, they very seldom smile. Like they were just mean. Like those dudes were mean. Like Anthony Edwards is not that guy. Like he's a good teammate, and you hear people talk about it. Mike and Kobe were not good teammates. And yeah, I threw Kobe in the conversation because you talk about Mikey, I talk about Kobe. D Wade was always perceived as a real nice guy, nice teammate, et cetera, et cetera. So let's stop that here. Let's take it to Anthony Edwards and D Wade. No more of this Mike conversation. Yes, he does have some amazing dunks, but let's leave it at that. So did Vince Carter. So let's just leave that there. So we're going to leave that alone. So we're done with those guys. Pat Bear, 4-game suspension. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? Pat probably got it. Only 4. Pat really talk a lot, but if you ever notice him, Pat don't get kicked out of games a whole lot. He knows when to stop. I think his emotions just really got the best of him. They got their ass handed to him. Giannis is out. He had high expectations coming over there, and it didn't pan out. So, thus you have it. Jamal Murray through the it wasn't a towel. What was it? Heat pad, whatever he threw on the court. He got 100,000. That hurt, but they couldn't. You can't suspend Jamal Murray in this series, man. This is prime time. This is showbox stuff. Showtime stuff we're looking at here. So. They just chose to suspend him, and again, he's another one. I think in his case, his reputation, clean guy, doesn't really cause a lot of trouble. Again, he frustrated. Minnesota frustrated the hell out of him in game 2. Like he was purely. I don't think I've ever seen Jamal Murray that frustrated in a game, and not just him. The whole team got frustrated. So he had a moment. I'll put it that way. He had a moment. Probably wasn't the smartest thing he's ever done, but he's playing tonight. So we done with that one. Other than that, the NBA's kind of quiet. Oh, I almost forgot, man. Frank Vogel. You know what? I'm a little tired of Vogel, Darvin Ham, the guy in the New Jersey Nets coach earlier this year, the Bucks coach before Doc Rivers. Owners, fans, we got to be realistic, man. It is very hard to win championships. And people need to stop thinking, especially Phoenix. And we talked about this earlier, and I told you guys that team was terrible because you just threw a lot of bodies in there, but you didn't have the pieces you needed to be a championship team. Just because you bring in 3 very good players, one is in his prime, one is past his prime, he can still shoot and score, one stays hurt. Just because you bring all this together does not equate to a championship. We tried it in New Jersey. They tried it in Phoenix. It worked in Golden State. They were young, but they had already won. We just got to leave that process alone. You look at the teams that are winning now. Minnesota, homegrown. They did bring in Gobert and got Mike Conley, but that was not a big 3. Denver, these guys were homegrown over there. A couple of trades here and there with Caldwell Pope. OKC is just young. They 19, 20 years old. They probably should be playing in NCAA, but they too good. You know, even Boston. Boston was homegrown. These kids grew up in the Boston system. So, and we'll talk about them later. They're just terrible. We got to stop with this trying to build these supers teams and thinking that's a recipe for championships. It is not. So now you're stuck in a problem of who wants to coach these guys? So they prima donnas, man. Let's just be honest. These guys are prima donnas. The Lakers' worst job in the NBA, and now Phoenix might be the second worst job in the NBA due to the players and the ownership, because this owner is a clown. He got a lot of money, but he's a clown. So we need to stop. We need to just let coaches coach. Like old school Pat Riley, what he did the other day, he got on Jimmy Butler. People might say shut up and joke. No, shut up and win a game and come to play. Jimmy, you're running your mouth. You're not even in the playoffs. You've been hurt. So you know Riles, he's the Godfather. He's gonna say what he's gonna say, and you gotta respect it. You can't really, you can run away from it, go sign somewhere else, but you gotta respect it and do what he's been good to you. So stay in your lane. You're not in the playoffs. Leave those that are in the playoffs alone. If you don't have nothing positive to say, don't say nothing. All right, so we're done with all those people. Now let's talk about these rounds, where we're at in these games now, because it's this is good. I know there are a lot of people that don't like the NBA. As you know, the reason I'm here, I love the game. I love the NBA. Like the old commercial said, the NBA is fantastic. And the reason being, you got some of the best basketball players in the world. And then now it's the world. It used to be just in America. Now it's the world. Oh, I got a visitor in the garage. Hopefully you stay on that side. Because if you come over here, I'm running off the screen. I'm just going to let you know now. So, I gotta keep an eye on this cat. Indiana and New York, man. Shout out to the Villanova 3, Jalen Brunson. They are, man, where they are, and I'm sorry, I'm watching this guy, man. He kind of big. They are, one, they playing a lot of minutes, and that's the Tibbs way, right? These dudes are just playing nonstop. They're playing 40-something plus minutes a game. Jalen Brunson missed a little bit of the game the other day, but he made it back in and finished off strong, so that was great to see. DiVincenzo is hooping. OG is out now. OG is out. He won't play anymore this series, excuse me. Josh Hart, man, and if anybody knows me, I've been a Josh Hart fan since he was on the Lakers. Josh Hart is relentless in his game, man. The dude's played like 3 straight games, 48 minutes. He has an uncanny knack for getting rebounds, loose balls. He's just one of those guys you want to play with, man. He doesn't complain. He's just going. He's just going at it hard. Now I got 2 of them. So the question with this is how long can they sustain playing these types of minutes, man, without their bodies breaking down? That's probably what scares me the most with the Knicks right now. I think they're resilient, what they're doing, how they're playing. You think about all the injuries. OG's out. Randall is out. Mitchell's out. It's just the injuries, but Jalen Brunson, they putting his team on his back and they're winning. So 2 old Knicks. So what do the Pacers have to do? TJ McConnell has to play a little bit more. He has to, you're not going to stop Brunson, but TJ has to get in the game and frustrate and just be annoying as he is. So you put him in the game. Miles Bridges has 6 points. They won. He has 6 points. That can't happen. Miles needs to be a double-double. Stretch the floor a little bit. When he was knocking down shots, that was good for them. Halliburton, 20+. And Siakam has to be the leader on this team on both sides of the floor, on the defensive end. And you might want to switch him up and give him some Brunson looks too, just to throw a different look at Brunson, some height, some length. Pause. No diddy. You just got to throw different combinations at Brunson because he's attacking. He's just killing you. So those 3 guys, even Obi Toppin gave you a little something off the bench. So if you get bench production from Toppin and TJ, and I can get good production from Siakam, Halliburton, and Turner, they can win the game. Because Knicks only have 3 scores. Those are the only guys getting points. The bench isn't doing anything. Hartenstein to give you a little something. He's giving you a double-double. He slowed Jalen down. I think he was under 30, but he sat out a quarter. So he'll probably have 40 tonight. Stop the record. I don't think that. Who's going to win tonight? Brunson may be a little hurt. I'm going to go with the Pacers tonight. 2-1. But I think this series will end up being 4-2 Knicks. Knicks going to get to that Eastern Conference Finals. This is probably the most disturbing thing that I've seen, man. These damn Celtics. B-Hobbs, I know these are your boys. They're starting to turn into a very frustrating team. Like, I get it. You may lose a game or two in the playoffs, man. But don't. They lost by 20-something last night. You can't. If you're a championship team, you can't be getting blown out like this. Like, it just, you gotta find ways to score, get stops, and win, man. We talk about Tatum, and I was very high on Tatum, man. And now I'm getting to the point where I don't even know. Like, is it time to break them up? Have they just peaked? Maybe they peaked. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the best we'll see. Tatum hasn't had a 30-point game in this series, in the playoffs. Can't happen, man. I said he was MVP candidate. Can't happen. As I said, your best player has to be averaging close to 30 points if you want to win a playoff series. Donovan Mitchell hurt me. Paolo was out playing him. He turned it on, and he brought Cleveland out of that series. Now he's doing it again now. So you're welcome, Spider. You're welcome. Even without Chris Tapps, Boston should have enough to win. And maybe Cleveland is the East Coast Minnesota, because if you think about it, they're built the same way. They may be a little less on the wing perimeter, but they got the bigs, they got the score. You know, they match up very well. Similar style teams, maybe just not as strong defensively, and missing some of the veteran leadership, but they have the pieces, and maybe that's why they're frustrating Boston. The height is making a difference, and then you got Spider. Boston doesn't have an answer for Spider right now. You would think that Tatum or Brown would take on the challenge and make a difference, but it's not happening. I still think Boston will prevail, but this series might go 6 or 7 games. I don't think Boston has the mental capacity or the know-how or the wherewithal to put the Cleveland Cavaliers away. They're going to let them hang around, and Cleveland going to win some games just by hanging around. So they don't play again until tomorrow, I believe. They play tomorrow. I think Boston will win the next game. Then we go over to, I'm going to say the Nuggets and the Minnesota for last, because that's the most interesting. We talk about the Thunder and the Mavs. Youth may end up being a detriment to OKC. This could be a learning season for OKC, and I say that just because they don't know how to win yet. I know they were 4-0. They got through the first round. They had their first loss the other night. And I think it's just a matter of Dallas has 2 superstars. And on any given night, one of those guys can take you home. Luka took him home the other night. Even after shooting poorly, getting hit in the head, Luka had a great game. And Kyrie had a subpar game. PJ had 19-11. That's huge. When those guys, if you get that type of production out of the wings, PJ, and Tim Hardaway had a great game too. He had about 20. You get that kind of production, Dallas is going to be hard to beat. They're a little deeper. What OKC is not getting, in 2 games they have 25 points from Dort and Giddey. Unacceptable. If those guys, if they're going to win 10-10, each one of those guys has to put up double figures, man, and be effective, show a presence on the floor. Right now they're not doing that, and I think that's the difference in this series. But they are not they're not having an impact on the game right now. Shea got 30 the other night. He's going to be fine. But they need more than that if they're going to beat this team, because Dallas went out and did the right things, and they're built to win. As good of a season as they had, I don't think Dallas is going to lose this series. And it's really due to Kyrie and Luka. Their stars are just better. Their superstars are better, and their superstars are capable. Both of these guys can take over a game. Let's put it that way. Both of these guys can take over, and they have them on the floor at all times. You're going to have one of those guys on the floor throughout the course of this game, and that makes a huge difference. When you have two guys on the floor, impactful, and that can change a game. So tomorrow night we'll go Dallas. I think Dallas will take a 2-1 lead on the next game of this one. Now for the fun guys. Woo, this Nugget. We've talked about Minnesota all season long. They were the number 1 seed. They won it, and now they're playing like it. Even with Rudy staying home, and I thought about that, man. That was interesting. And I'd be curious from the guys out here. I know in the past you heard guys have babies. Some went home, some didn't. I might see the kid, but as soon as that kid pop out, I'm gone. I'm catching the first charter plane out, and I'm playing in the game. I'll see you after the game. I'll come back. There ain't much I can do but hold the kid anyway. So he can put him up, let him watch daddy on TV. But, yeah, that's a tough call. I get it, but you got to respect it. But they fought through and they made it. So shout out to Minnesota. Naz Reid picked them up. So they were able to get through. They're just a defensive juggernaut right now, man. They are really frustrating Denver in every capacity of the game, every facet of the game, I should say. They bit off the head, like, pause. Jamal is frustrated, as I said earlier. Jamal is super frustrated. He can't find a rhythm. Joker's frustrated because they're throwing 3 7-footers at Joker. And they're hitting him at all just up the court, down low. He's getting his points, but his points are not impacting the game right now. So they are not like he's making those clutch baskets that we're putting Denver in a position where they're taking over. It's not happening. So what does Denver have to do? I think they have to speed the game up a little bit and try to find the high-low is where Denver is very effective. When Aaron Gordon is floating that baseline, Joker's playing at the free throw line extended, and he's catching him cutting, or he's cutting and Caldwell Pope or somebody rolled through. MPJ pops out and he's wide open. He's got to hit some shots. He has to be a difference maker in this series. But again, the difference between a team like Denver, they don't have guys that can put it on the floor and create and make their own shots. Joker can do it, but it's a slow motion process. Murray can do it, but they're slowing him down. So Porter's going to have to be very aggressive. Gordon's going to have to be very aggressive. Gordon knocked down a lot of shots first 2 games. He's playing well. He's finding his spots, but he's not the guy that's going to bring it home for you. Your big guys have to bring it home. So let's see. So tonight's going to be exciting. I think Denver will steal one in Minnesota tonight. It'll be 2-1 going into Sunday, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the wives, girlfriends, side pieces, everything you got going. For the guys out there, the fans, love y'all. Enjoy it. Hope you have a great day. Watch it, buddy. So that's the playoffs. So that's where we are. So I want to send you home with this. I told you my new thing is I'm going to give you a top 5 of something every week. So this week, I'm going to give you my top 5 under 25. This is going to be interesting because you all going to probably have some names in your mind. And you were like, why he on the list? Because his ass probably 28 years old now. He's been playing for a long time. So coming in at number 5, Big Wemby. Young, 20 years old, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. Has been done. The future is bright. San Antonio's just going to have to really work to build around him before he goes to the Lakers, and he won't go to the Lakers till LeBron leaves. Then he'll be a Laker. My man Paolo, 21 years old. I liked him, and I don't like a lot of Duke guys. I liked him even at Duke. But this Orlando team, and they're going to put somebody next to him this summer, whether it be Clay. Me and Ant were just talking about Paul George. Like, they're going to put somebody next to him that is going to be a floor spacer that can get another bucket. So then you have Paolo, you'll have Franz, and then you'll have whoever this third guy is. And it's not a super team because these are young drafted guys. Y'all thought y'all was going to catch me up. Number 3 is Luka. Luka's 25. He almost didn't make the list. And congratulations, he's a new dad too. We know Luka, so we don't have to talk a whole lot about Luka. Number 2 is SGA, potentially MVP. And he will be in the next few years. He'll get one. Number 1 is Anthony Edwards. And maybe because he's hot right now, I could take either one of those guys and flip them. So there you go, my top 5. Number 1, AE. Number 2, SGA. Number 3, Luka. Paolo, number 4. Number 5 is Wemby. So y'all might be thinking, why not Jalen Brunson? Jalen Brunson went to college, man. Jalen Brunson, 27 years old. He the class of 2019. He did 4 years. The 3 guys that made honorable mention, Melo, he's been hurt, but Melo came out great. Now we're gonna have to watch him for injuries and see if he can overcome these little. He get these little minor injuries that set him back. Maybe it's a Ball family thing. Maxi's right there. Melo's 22. Maxi's 23. We got to give Maxi his. Ja Morant. Had he played, I don't know who Ja would have knocked out. Maybe he would have knocked out Wemby. I'm not sure. Had he been on the floor, but I'm still going to keep him up there. Ja's 24, and I know when he comes back next year, Ja's going to be electric. He's going to bring it for us. Just pray that he keeps his head on right, man. That's, keeps his head on right. So there you go. So listen, hey, thank y'all again. It's Friday. Had a great time. I'm ready. Game starts in about an hour. We start off with the Knicks, Pacers. Then we're going to flip on, and then we're going to the big one now, the heavyweight fight tonight, Minnesota and Denver. So, hey, God bless y'all. Y'all have a good time. Enjoy the games. Enjoy your Friday evening. Be safe. God bless you.